give them the price, they say they need to think about it, they need to find the money, for whatever reason, you have to book another appointment. Then they don't show up, they don't get back to you. What do you do then? And more importantly, how do you do it without coming across like a needy, pushy salesperson? I'm Christian Polk, and over the past 4 years, I've closed over $8 million in sales, and this is the exact follow-up framework I used in order to do so. First and foremost, we have to understand when it comes to follow-up, anybody who is telling you you don't need to follow up in order to make the most amount of money you need to be making in sales are just showing their cards that they really haven't been in sales for that long. Because no matter what offer you're on, lead flow is going to ebb and flow. And if you're just reliant on your sales coming from inbound leads and you don't actually have a pipeline of people who are going to close, again, we're just reliant that marketing is always going to be giving us the amount of leads we need in order to make the amount of money that we need to be making. And I'm not going to be learning from any of these sales gurus who've been in sales for a year, maybe 2 years. I'm going to be learning from people like Ryan Serhant, who've been in sales for decades and made millions and millions of dollars in commissions and have sold over $1 billion worth of houses. And I heard a story from him where he followed up with the lead for over 7 years with no actual response back for them, with no automations, no CRMs, and that after 7 years, it actually got him to the point where he made a couple $1 million in commissions just after one follow-up. So follow-up is important, especially if you want to make the most amount of money you could be making in sales. Now, the biggest thing you have to understand when it comes to following up is the follow-up process. It starts at the end of a sales call. The only reason we should be following up with prospects is because there is a logistical thing that is preventing them from moving forward. Either they don't have the money, they don't have the access to the money, or they don't have the time, maybe right at that second. Things like fear, decision-making processes, these are things that we need to handle on the call. And if you're having a hard time overcoming fear and decision-making process objections, check out the last YouTube video I did where I break down exactly how to do it. So when we dive into how do we actually set up the follow-up at the end of a sales conversation, I'll walk through exactly what you do when you get a logistical money objection, because this is going to be the most common thing that is logistically going to prevent somebody from moving forward. They just don't have the money, so they can't buy it, whatever it is you are trying to sell them. So let's dive in how we actually do that. So first and foremost, when we get to the end of the call and they don't have the money, we always do want to go for a funding option. Now, if your company that you're working for doesn't have a funding option, again, get them to sign up for credit cards. A really great one is the American Express Everyday Blue Cash Card. It's an instant approval process. It's 15 months credit. It's 15 months interest free. So you can get instant approval, they can get on board right away, and it has 15 months interest free. Now again, funding options is a topic for another video, but let's dive into, like, let's say at the very end of it, they just don't have the money. Now, depending on if they actually have a game plan, like they're going to get paid on Friday, or they know exactly how they're gonna find the money, it's gonna be a little bit different. But let's say you get to the end, they don't have the money, they don't have the credit, and they have no clue on how they're actually going to get the money. What you need to do is you need to fight for them and make them get resourceful. Again, you want to help people the best that you can, so you have to fight for them. You can't buy into their limitations that they can't find the money, because if they can't find the money, they stay in their exact situation and then they never get out. They stay in that same cycle. So the first things first is we fight for them, and they should feel that, okay? So a really easy reframe that you're going to do, and this is after you ran through everything, they really want to do it, they're on board, they just don't have the money. So you're going to tell them, hey, there's a difference between being broke and being poor. Do you know the difference? The difference is willingness and the ability to be resourceful. Being poor is a mentality, and poor people stay poor because they don't do anything about it. Do you feel that there's at least been one person in the world who's in a worse financial spot than you right now and figured out how to get whatever it is the outcome that they're looking for? Obviously, they're going to say yes. Then from there, you're going to ask, what allowed them to do that? The reason you're asking them this and you're getting them this to buy into this frame is I need them to admit that it's possible and they need to get resourceful. So then you're going to ask, like, are you willing to get resourceful so you can get outcome? Yes, you should definitely get a yes here. If you're not getting a yes, again, probably your discovery, how you're presenting, and the objection handling up until that point is just not on par. If you're at this point, you should be getting a definite yes. Get them to always dig deeper on why it would though. Okay? This why though is really important. The reason why, when you get somebody to take a step in your direction, you always want to ask them why, because they're going to entrench more in that belief. Now, if you have a lower ticket, downsell. If you don't, you can either get a down payment and create a game plan. If they have absolutely no money, just go ahead and create a game plan. So again, create a game plan. When I say create a game plan is how are they going to find the money? So what you're gonna say is like, hey man, cool, I appreciate you willing to be resourceful because as long as you don't give up on yourself, I'm not gonna give up on you. At this point, you're in their corner, you're fighting for them. So what do you feel like would be a reasonable time frame that we can come up with the investment so we can get outcome? And I'm always tying the investment into the outcome that they get. So they're gonna give you a time frame. Now, depending on the time frame, I'm always going to challenge them to cut it in half. So let's say they say like, oh, I think I can do it in 3 months, or I think I can do it in 6 months. Well, can I challenge you to cut that in half? And they're like, oh yeah, I think if I push it, I can really do it. Okay, so let's do it. Let's put some pressure on ourselves. Let's cut it in half. Then from there, you sit and you create a game plan with them. Whether they can ask family, sell a car, credit cards, do Uber, DoorDash, whatever it is, get a part-time job. Really, you're just helping them come up with a game plan. And if you allow them to come up with a game plan, like they will find solutions to their problems. Because most people, they have problems and they never actually sit and try to find solutions to it. So you're holding people's feet to the fire and you help them create a game plan. That's the biggest thing. So then after you help them create a game plan, and this might take 5 minutes, it doesn't need to be like super concrete, but it needs to be clear and actionable. So then from there, it's like, okay, let's make this happen. How often do you want me checking in with you to make sure we're on the right track? You're asking them, how often do you want me following up with you? I'll tell you, like typically with most people, they're like every week, every 2 weeks, maybe every month. And then you just go ahead, you put it in your calendar or you set a reminder on your CRM and you go ahead and you call them during that time frame. So this is what you do if it's logistical money. And then from there, like what you're going to do is you're going to have like a follow-up process here to where you can see there's different stages. We have people who are 7 days out, 2 weeks out, a month out, 1 to 3 months out, and 3+ months out. And it's your job as a salesperson to just move people from 3 months out to 1 to 3 months out, 1 to 3 months out to 1 month out, 2 weeks out, and you're just moving people forward. So you take Jack Ruby here, you had a conversation with him. He used to be 1 month out the last time you talked to him. And then you basically move him, okay, now he's 2 weeks out. And then that's your job, is just getting people down the line to at least 7 days out. And then once these are 7 days out, these are the people that you close. And just understand, if you're getting $500 per sale, and there's 9 people that are in your pipeline that are like, they need to close, they're just a little bit further out, you're leaving $4,500 on the table just by not following up with people. This one is going to be really big. And this is a high ROI move that if you just stay on top of these people and have 5-minute conversations with them every few weeks, again, these people will close and you'll be able to make those commissions. And like I said, you create an ecosystem around yourself so you're not just reliant on the leads that are coming in. Then from there, let's say, for example, we set a follow-up. Whatever reason, they needed to talk to their partner. We weren't able to overcome it. They said, hey, I get paid on Friday. And then we book a meeting for Friday and then they just don't show up. What you're gonna use is you're gonna use a ghost SOP that I have here. And again, if this is something that you want, you can definitely just reach out to me at Christian Polk on Instagram. I will tell you that my DM setter is a savage and will try to book you in for a chat as far as like any potential training. But again, I can give it to you if you just DM me on Instagram. So follow-up principles. Number 1, people forget shit. Shit happens. It's not personal. Take your emotions out of it. Just always assume people got busy. Because here's the thing, if you book in a meeting and for whatever reason, people didn't show to that meeting or you got no-showed, whatever it is, and you take that personally and then like that shows up in your messaging, how you're calling, voicemails, texts, whatever it is, like you don't know what happened in their lives. And I'm telling you, it will bite you in the ass and you will lose sales because you're taking things personally. Just first and foremost. It's always best to get people on the phone, call them. It's gonna be hard to handle objections over text or over email. If they respond to a text or an email you sent them, call them. If they send you a text or email out of the blue, call them. If they don't answer, respond back to a text and email to get them on a call. Always make your texts and emails to get them on a call in their best interest. Dangle carrots in front of them to get them to hop on a call. For example, I talked to my wife and we decided it's too much money. Call, no answer, reply. Okay, that's not an issue. Just so you know, we can be a bit flexible when it comes down to the investment to make sure that numbers work for you. Think it'd be worth a 5-minute chat to look into the numbers of what we can do so you can get outcome. Again, I'm dangling a carrot in front of them. I'm giving them the option that, hey, we can move around on the price and we can be flexible to get them on a call so I can fully understand what their objection is and I can help them overcome it. Get out of your comfort zone. Don't get in your head about being pushy and needy. Drop your ego and put in the work. Understand, people don't know you. They don't think about you. They don't care about you. Everyone has their own life going on. You'll make more money being persistent when it comes to follow-up versus being timid and passive. So follow up with everyone forever. I already told you the story about Ryan Serhant, who again makes millions of dollars a year in commissions running a real estate agent empire. And he still does relentless follow-ups, 7 years, no reply, and sold 2 houses and made over $1 million in commissions just from one follow-up. Now, be everywhere. If they don't respond, email, text, calls after 5 times, find other ways to contact them. Call, text from a different number. Find them on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Just follow up with them. So when it comes to the cadence, the first 7 days, like somebody ghosts you, like again, I'm gonna hit them up at least like once a day. Now, again, after a week, I'm probably gonna drop down to about, every 3 days. After 2 weeks, probably once a week. And then after 28 days, I'm probably hitting them up like once a month. Still, I'm staying on top of everybody, but the hottest they're gonna be is in the first 7 days for whatever reason that they ghosted you. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna go over here on what we do on the first 7 days. So day one, again, like we're gonna call them twice. Call them, don't answer, but call them twice. The reason why you call them twice is just because a lot of people have do not disturb on. So I know for me, if you just call me out of the blue, it's not gonna ring. But if you call me twice, it'll ring, okay? So if you get no answer, I would just text something super basic, super simple, like a ... question mark. You should already have text communication back and forth. Again, if you're doing your follow-up, if you're doing your show-up process right. So they should already have your number, and I would just shoot them a text like this. Now, day 2, if they didn't get a response back, again, you're gonna call them twice, and then you're gonna text. This time, you're gonna do a little bit more. I will typically use humor to open them up. Like, hey, everything all good? Starting to wonder if you got abducted by aliens or something. Or are you leaving me out in the cold over here? Some emojis. Again, the biggest thing when it comes to follow-up is you don't need to take it too seriously. People get busy, shit happens, make it fun, right? Emojis, memes, those type of things will get people to actually respond to what you're doing. And again, if you can get them to laugh, they're more likely to respond because they see you're not taking it seriously. Because a lot of times what's gonna happen, especially if you get a no-show, why people ghost you is because they feel bad. So if you show them hey, there's no hurt feelings here and you're joking around with it, this is going to open them up quite a bit. So day 3, again, you're gonna call and then you're gonna text a GIF or a meme, just lighthearted follow-up, okay? These are probably my 2 favorite ones. We got Kermit looking out on, the rainy, just waning, or we got Mr. Bean here looking at his watch. Again, basic. As far as memes, there's tons of memes you can use to do this. Day 4, text. Okay, this is something that I got from Jeremy Miner after working with him for years. This works really well. Again, I'll send this in a text and I'll also send it to an email. Again, probably won't call him that day, but it's hey, I tried to get back to you, but didn't hear back. ... space. Where should we go for here? I'm available for the next few hours. Again, I would also send it in an email. I'll just have a quick question or something along those lines as far as the subject line. Again, same thing. Super basic, super to the point. You don't want to do too much. You don't want to leave long, big old paragraphs. People aren't gonna read that shit. Simple, to the point. Day 5, you're gonna call them again. This time, you're gonna text a GIF or a meme that's a little bit more direct. These ones are my favorite, hey, not sure if you're really busy or you're just ignoring me. You, not getting back to me, this meme, always funny. Okay, you, lots of annoying following up, replying to this meme. Are you ignoring me on purpose? Okay, because it's a dolphin and they're porpoises, so I think it's funny. Okay, whenever you're ready, skeleton meme. Again, not taking it too seriously. Day 6, again, just call them, and then now we're just gonna send them value. At this point, they know you're trying to follow up, so I'm just going to, after this point, after the first 5 days, I'm still gonna follow up with them, but moving forward, I'm basically just sending them value. They know I'm trying to contact them, so I'm just gonna send them value and just hope eventually I send them enough value, they see enough, or whatever's going on in their life that's preventing them from following up and actually having a conversation, that's gonna, I'm gonna stay on top of mind, and then whenever that, passes, they'll go ahead and hit me up, okay? So I'm gonna call. Okay, again, text and email, just basically a client screenshot, result in time frame, maybe think of you, sent. Again, something super basic. You're not asking to, again, have a conversation. Let's say, for example, you sell sales training, I'll send them one of my clients' wins of oh, they hit 40,000 a month, after 3 months of training, maybe think of you, send. Super basic. Then from there, like I'll just send them like texts and emails, something of value you found to them. Whether it be like a YouTube video that like your influencer or whatever does, or like a link, an article, whatever it is, just send over something of relevant info to them, provide value, and then eventually, again, like they'll get back to you. So video on how to get outcome or solve problem. Just gonna leave this here in case I can't get back to you again. Crush it. You don't take this personally. It's not a big deal. Like, hey, here's some value. Hopefully you fucking crush it. Then like after this, like you keep reaching out, you keep calling from time to time. Again, I'm just like the amount of volume I'm gonna do is just going to drop, and I'm just going to send value and basically memes, okay? Forever until I tell you to fuck off, okay? That's pretty much it. Don't overcomplicate it. The biggest problem I see people doing when it comes to follow-up is they just overcomplicate it. They're gonna ask, what do I say on the follow-up? It's just like, hey, how are things going? Where are we at last time that we chatted? Have things changed? And just move the conversation from there. If you just keep it basic, straight and to the point, you will just get more deals closed overall. All right, hopefully you found value in that. And if you want to watch a video of me actually doing a sales call so you don't have to do as many follow-ups, just go ahead and click this video right here. If not, go ahead, like, leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.